This is Bedtime Stories, Grown-Up Edition, The Truth, Part 6. When we left off, the tea was piping hot. Amir had attempted to set Big Wood and Saint up in New York on that third job, and Sincere had called a flag on the play, and the call from Q had provided additional pass interference. Q asked Big Wood to meet him in Puerto Rico. It was time for Big Wood to slay some dragons from the past, free himself from the shackles that were keeping him bound, and help Melissa see that she needed to do the very same thing. If you watch the bonus episodes, then you know that Big Wood slayed Goliath. And right when he was in the middle of helping Melissa slay her own, Angela had a vision or premonition of some sort. She told her Uncle Manny that he needed to get True to Puerto Rico immediately. When Q asked if True was in danger, Angela said, "Yeah, you need to end her assignment as quickly as possible. And I need to lay down. I think I'm gonna." And then Angela threw up all over the floor. Not 30 minutes before this, in Miami, True and Amir had gone in for a second try, and they'd had almost the same results. This time, with Amir on top. And just as he went to slide in, True got an intense, excruciating cramp in her abdomen. She had to push Amir off, roll off the bed, grab the trash can, and throw up. Amir said, "What the hell is going on, True? That's it. You need a doctor." True said, "I think so." She grabbed her phone, called Javier, and he sent the doctor over. The doctor briefly examined her, had his assistant draw some blood, and before he sent her in the bathroom to give him a urine sample, he said, "We need to rule out urinary tract infections or kidney issues. The area where you're having the pain is pretty complex in women." Amir said, "I know you ain't pregnant." True said, "No, I'm not pregnant." The doctor handed her the cup and told her the instructions for how to take the sample were inside it. When she got in the restroom, she went to pull out the instructions, and there was a note attached. The note said, "This is for a pregnancy and STD check. If you want to receive the results privately, leave this note face up on top of the sample. Otherwise, this note is flushable." True thought to herself, "That's clever as hell. But yeah, I'm gonna have to get them STD test results privately. Cause I know if this nigga done gave me something that he got from Amira, it's up and stuck. I ain't pregnant, I know that, cause I took that test at Angela's and it was negative." True peed in the cup and left that note on top of it, face up. The doctor went in the bathroom, collected the cup and the note. 15 minutes later, when he returned, he said to Amir, "You're gonna need to step out so I can examine her internally." Amir said, "I'm not leaving her alone." The doctor said, "You won't be. My assistant will be in here." When Amir refused, the doctor said, "Sir, this is not a debate. You need to leave, or I will." True said, "Amir, just wait in the hall. It's fine. I want to get this over with, okay?" When Amir left the room, True's phone rang. It was Manny. Angela had just told him to get True to Puerto Rico ASAP and then threw up all over his floor. Manny said, "True, are you in a position where you can get on a private and get here? I need you immediately." True said, "Yeah, I'm in the middle of something, but as soon as I wrap this up, I'll be on my way." Manny said, "Okay, 30 minutes, 45. True looked at the doctor and said, "How long is this going to take?" The doctor said, 5-10 minutes tops. True said, "Yeah, I can be at the landing strip in 45. She hung up and the doctor said, "You're pregnant. From your physical exam, I'd estimate that you're about 10 to 14 weeks. You're going to need to see an OBGYN and have an ultrasound and full workup." True was flabbergasted. Her stomach was still as flat as an ironing board. As far as True could tell, she really hadn't had any symptoms. And she didn't count her 3 bouts with nausea and vomiting as morning sickness, because one, they didn't happen in the morning, and two, they appeared to have other causes. The first time was when she attempted to drink that Long Island, and the other 2 times were right when her and Amir were about to hit a home run. True thought to herself, "Let me find out this kid checking for its daddy." She looked at the doctor and asked, "Can I fly?" He said, "I don't really see any reason why you can't. You're not bleeding. You're not having any kind of consistent cramping. Do you have access to an OBGYN when you get to your destination?" Then True called Marisol. Marisol said that she could see True as soon as she landed. True looked at the doctor and said, "It's scheduled." The doctor wrapped up and Amir returned. True said, "I'm fine. It's just a little stomach bug, but I gotta run. There's an emergency I need to handle. I'll let you know when we can get together again. I'm sorry." Meanwhile, in Puerto Rico, Big Wood has finished telling Melissa his entire story. She's asked questions. He's answered them. Wood asked Melissa, "Do you think that what I did makes me a bad person? A monster?" Melissa said, "No, but I think that it taught you how to turn your feelings off so that it wouldn't be so hard for you to do bad things. Are you worried that if I don't remember whatever it is that I can't remember, that I'll turn my feelings off and make it easier to do bad things too?" Big Wood said, "That's one of the things that I'm concerned about. I'm also concerned that While you don't remember it, it's in there. And it's going to impact the way that you move around in life in general, how you relate to other people, how you make decisions. And you don't deserve to be handicapped like that. You deserve freedom. Remembering will give you freedom, Melissa. Melissa hugged Big Wood around his neck and said, I'm going to remember Uncle Woody. Thank you for sharing your story with me. When she let go, she looked at Big Wood and said, I hope your son grows up to be just like you. When Melissa and Wood are done, Q sees Melissa to her room, checks on Angela, and returns to the room where Big Wood is. Q says, man, I need you to know how much I appreciate you doing this. I know that had to be hard for you, but you need to know you did a great job. Wood said, no problem, bro. I just hope that it helps. You know, I'll do anything for those kids of yours, man. Q said, I know. And you know that I'll do anything for you. I'd love to sit here with you and chop it up. Work through anything you still need to work through. If you want to talk, I'm here. But let's do it tomorrow. Angela had a moment while you were talking with Melissa. She's all right, but I'd much rather be up late with her than you. When Wood laughed, Q said, you have no idea what it's like to be with your woman when she's pregnant. It's like God sprinkled something extra in it, bro. Wood said, I can't wait to find out exactly what you mean. As Q walked out, Manny walked in. He asked Big Wood if he's good, and Big Wood says, I am, but I want to thank you for taking care of me and my family when we didn't even know it. I knew that Samuel was looking out, but I had no idea that you were. Manny said, it was my pleasure. I got to do some good to balance out all the bad. If I could have, I would have done more. But your father, Big Dro, he tied our hands. Anything that we would have done financially would have put up flags. All of the agencies were watching. By not talking, he was keeping you all safe. But his silence made the block hide. The feds wanted the Garcias, but they would have took the Lopezes or the Baptistes as a consolation prize. And we couldn't have that. Talk to your parents, Wood. There is still so much that you don't know. Sometime soon, you'll be a wonderful husband and father, but you cannot expect to be any of that while holding a grudge against your own. True is on her way here for a meeting. I suggest that you share your secrets with her. You want her to trust you with her broken pieces. You gotta trust her with yours. Wood said, I think it might have been easier to tell Melissa than it's gonna be to tell True. But I will. Manny said, in the meantime, if you're up to it and you need a distraction to get your mind off all of this, I got a job for you. Meanwhile, at almost 10 o'clock at night, Marisol was completing a full examination on True. During the ultrasound, she said, True, you're 13 weeks pregnant. True had never paid any attention to the pregnancy process from the medical side, so she'd never even seen an ultrasound. Nothing in the world could have prepared her for seeing a fully formed human in her womb. This fetus had arms, legs, fingers, and toes. It looked like an extraterrestrial, but she could clearly make out eye sockets and nose structure and even a mouth. She was too shocked to even cry. Listening to her baby's heartbeat and seeing her fully formed baby was all she needed. The deal was sealed. She was in awe, overwhelmed, and in love. She immediately started trying to remember everything she could have possibly done to jeopardize the health of her unborn child. She told Marisol that her last drink was at Angela's at the sleepover a little over 3 weeks before. Marisol told her, don't worry about that, True. The placenta doesn't implant and start feeding your baby until shortly after 10 weeks. So nothing that you ate or drunk prior to that time has the potential to have had any negative impact on your unborn baby. The fetus looks perfect. Now, do you know what you want to do? True said, oh, I'm keeping my baby. Then Marisol told her all of the do's and don'ts, gave her literature about what to expect when you're expecting, and scheduled her 16-week appointment. Then she stressed the importance of True keeping all of her appointments. And they discussed the balancing act that would be required for True to properly take care of herself, her unborn baby, make all of her appointments, and be in the life. When True got to the Lopez estate, Manny was waiting for her. Before he could even tell her why she'd been called there, True said, I'm pregnant. And Manny just smiled. He'd already put 2 and 2 together and came up with 17,492. He'd heard what Melissa said to Q about hoping that his son would be just like him. He'd seen how Angela was affected by her vision. His wife had told him that she had a last-minute emergency patient who was flying into the island. So when he was talking to Big Wood about being a great husband and father sometime soon, he was anticipating True's announcement. Now, he hadn't quite figured out what Angela knew and what her role was in all of this, but he was going to get down to the bottom of it. He said, congratulations, True. "What are your plans?" True said, "I'm keeping my baby." Manny said, "I'm glad to hear that. Have you told Wood?" True said, "No, I literally just found out, and I can't tell him yet. He has a secret that he needs to tell me first." Assuming that she was referring to the secret that Wood had shared with Melissa, he said, "I'm sure he's going to do that. As a matter of fact, he's here on the island too. You two can talk at your leisure, but I called you here because Angela needs to talk to you. She's concerned that you're in danger on your assignment." True said, "Yeah, we're going to have to wrap that up. This baby has been throwing a monkey wrench in my plans. Where's Angela? She has the ability to get me some information that I need, and she's refused." Manny said, "I'll talk to her. She's in bed though, so I'll talk to her in the morning and I'll send her your way." The two went their separate ways, and True went to the villa where she knew Woody would be staying. She knocked on the door and didn't get an answer, so she went to Stephanie's villa. When she knocked, Renni opened the door. True said, "Oh my God, Renni, what are you doing here?" Renni said, "What? You're not happy to see me?" True said, "Of course I am, but you're supposed to be at school." Renni said, "Girl, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. I was missing my man, so he flew me out." True said, "Then why you here and not with him?" Renni said, "Oh, because he had to go make a run real quick. He said he'll be back." Inside, the three women chopped it up, and when an hour passed and Stacks still wasn't back, Renni suggested that they go out to a club and have a good time. Since the Lopez family owned most of the island, they could go out on the town and not have to worry about their safety. Renni said, "I promise I will not drink in solidarity with you, Stephanie." Stephanie said, "PT will be here tomorrow with baby Kyrie. He's coming in for some kind of church conference. I want to have all my energy and look my absolute best for my man." Renni said, "I need something to do until my man come back." True asked, "Renni, where did Stacks expect for you to be while he was gone?" Renni said, "He didn't say, and I'm grown." A few minutes later, the women agreed. They was hitting the town. They got fly, jumped in a chauffeured car, and let a contingent of security escort them to the club. In the car, when Stephanie asked True, "Wait a minute, why are you in Puerto Rico? I thought you was handling that assignment." True said, "I was, but Manny called me to the island because I guess Angela's ready to give me what I need." Stephanie said, "I know she not about to have Michael." True said, "I don't know, but it sounds like I'm going to get all the information that I need about that situation, and Big Wood is going to tell me of his own volition." Stephanie and Renni said, "What?" True didn't tell her best friends that she was pregnant because she told Manny she wasn't telling another soul until she told Big Wood. And she wasn't telling him until he told her his secret. Manny had no idea that True was referencing what he did with Amira. And True had no idea that Manny was referring to what Big Wood had done when he was 8 years old. All the signals were crossed, which meant that soon enough, somebody was going to get their feelings hurt. At the club, Stephanie, True, and Renni are dancing their little hearts out. The locals already know what's up. They peeped the security, so they giving the girls a wide berth. But three men who are clearly new on the scene failed to read the room and approached them. Stephanie and True were obviously not interested, but the party girl Renni saw nothing wrong with a few dances and a few drinks. She'd forgotten all about her vow to avoid alcohol while out at the club with her pregnant best friend. So over at the bar, Stephanie and True turned down the men's offer for a drink, and Renni accepted. The guy who was pushing up on Stephanie, he took the hint and backed down. But the one who was pushing up on True didn't seem to be taking no for an answer. True played it cool because she knew that with just a nod of her head, she could change this man's whole life. Since she didn't want to ruin everybody's good time, she looked the man in his eyes and said, "Listen, I have already told you that I am not interested. I don't want to dance. I don't want to drink. You cannot have my phone number, and I will not leave this club with you. Please do not make me say it again." When the man went to say something, True felt a very large presence behind her, and she saw the man look up. Before she can turn to see who's standing behind her, she feels Big Wood's arm go around her waist and hears him whisper in her ear, "Black car out front. Tell your sisters good night." True made eye contact with Stephanie. The two women nodded, and True walked away. On her heels was a lieutenant, escorting her to the car. Then two soldiers appeared next to the man. One grabbed his arm and the other one whispered something in his ear. Then they promptly let him out the back door. Big Wood made eye contact with Stephanie and raised one eyebrow. She tapped Renni on the shoulder and got off the bar stool. When Renni turned around, she was face to face with Stacks. He took the drink out of her hand and handed it to the man who bought it. And the man raised up off the bar stool like he was going to do something. Stacks lifted the right side of his shirt, showing the man his pistol, and shook his head. And the old boy sat back down. Then Stacks just stared at Renni. When she realized he wasn't going to say a damn thing, she walked away. She trailed behind Stephanie, and Stacks was walking out behind her. When the two men got up to look for their friend, 4 more soldiers appeared, who walked them out the back door. Outside of the club, Big Wood walked Stephanie to her car and said, "Straight home, gentlemen," to the driver and the lieutenants who were with her. And then he walked to his car, where True was waiting. On the way, he passed Stacks and Renni. Stacks was cool as a cucumber, and Renni looked stressed out. When Wood got in the car, True said, "So I haven't heard from you since Dallas and you pulled this? What's really hood?" Wood said, "You were working. I ain't want to interrupt. I figured you'd call me when old boy let you up for air." True said, "That's cute. I checked in. You didn't. I thought you were on a job in Trinidad." Wood said, "I was in New York, but I was needed here. Let's discuss it when we get back to the estate." True said, "I have questions." Wood said, "I have answers." Back at the estate, in the villa that Wood was staying in, Wood started by telling True about Amir's little setup attempt. She told him, "He's getting antsy. We haven't sealed the deal. So in his mind, you're the reason." Wood asked, "That's just in his mind? Or is that somehow a part of your plan?" True said, "Both. I'm working, but I'm also focused on being the best version of me that I can be and getting all of the information that I need to ensure that there isn't anything standing in our way." Big Wood said, "Speaking of which, Manny called me here because he, Q, and Angela believed that I could share some things with Melissa that would help her. And in the process, it would help me and it would help us." And then Wood emotionally shared what he'd done when he was 8 years old. He said, "I had to put it away. I had to bury that pain. I couldn't have those memories getting in the way. I know that that's what I do when bad things happen. I set the memories and the emotions aside. Sometimes I set the people aside too." True said, "Well, that explains why your relationship with Big Dro is so difficult. It also explains why you're so protective of your mother and your sisters and every other woman in your life. It also explains why your reaction was so visceral when I threw Tasha off that boat. I'm sorry for that. I was in my feelings and seeing red. And I can't do the back and forth with broads. Women are petty and catty, and when they not handled the first time out the gate, they always come back for more. It was never about not trusting you. It was about not playing with her. I can't tell you that if I'm in a position with another woman where she's showing that she can't take no for an answer, no matter how much you stand on business, that I won't throw her off a boat in front of a train or run her behind over with a bicycle." Big Wood just laughed. He said, "I feel that. Believe me, this whole situation with Amir has me feeling the same way. Thank you for understanding, for hearing me, for not judging me." True said, "I try to give what I require." And without her saying another word, Wood was rebuked because he'd been judging True. And here she was, just accepting him as is. Wood said, "I love you, little mama. Come here." Wood wraps his arms around True and they kiss and he caresses her. And when he starts to initiate sex, True's afraid. She doesn't know if that pain is going to return. And she knows that unlike Amir, Big Wood is going to require answers. She is not ready to tell him about this pregnancy because he still hasn't told her about Amira. Instead, she says, "I was working before I came to Puerto Rico." Big Wood immediately stops. He said, "I thought you said y'all hadn't taken it all away." True said, "Oh, we haven't. I stopped it right before, but we were pretty well in." Big Wood stopped and walked over to the window, put his hands in his pocket and his head down. After a few moments, he said, "I need you, little mama." Hearing that, True decided to just throw all caution to the wind and see what happened. She said, "I got you, Big Wood." True walked over to where Big Wood was standing and turned him around, slowly started to undress him, and kiss all over him. When she got him out of his pants and his underwear, she dropped to her knees, thinking that she'd just pleasure him. And when she got good and into it, Big Wood said, "I need you, little mama."
To you forever, ever, and it's not negotiable.